Hello there. Have you ever heard of fan fiction? Did you know that there is a whole category of BTS fan fiction? Oh, you didn't know? Well, you are in for a real treat today. Some of these novels may depict acts of violence, while some novels are just down and dirty. But nonetheless, I do hope you enjoy. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Jean-Luc stares at the white ceiling of his worn-down apartment room, trying to count each and every speckled spot. He looks away from his ceiling and instead looks beside him at his alarm clock, which went off 5 minutes before. He sighs and lifts himself off of the old mattress. Today is the first day at his new college. He has been saving up for this since he was a teen, working anywhere that would hide him. He worked so much that he could barely ever consider having a day to himself. But finally, at the ripe age of 21, he has gotten to where he wants to be. He walks to his small bathroom and looks at himself in the mirror. This is it, he thinks while smiling. Today is the start of a new beginning. He takes a quick shower and then gets dressed. He likes to wear soft colors which contrast with the various black designs that decorate his arms and his back. He takes a glance at his arms and wonders if he should cover them up. He loves the art, but most people he's met take one look at them and decide that he's a delinquent. His features most definitely do not help. He is on the more muscular side since he likes the idea of being able to stick up for himself whenever he would need to. He has a soft-looking face, but whenever he zones out he has a bit of what people call a resting bitch face. He decides to wear a faded jean jacket over his clothes just to be safe. He looks at the clock and his eyes widen. I'm gonna be late for the bus. He thinks, running to his room to grab his cracked phone from his beside table. He runs to the kitchen and grabs an apple before running out the door. He flies down the stairs of the apartment building before he comes to the bus stop. The bus is getting ready to pull away, but he gets there just in time. He pays the bus driver and heads towards the back. Sorry, he says as he bumps into someone while trying to find somewhere to sit. He finally finds a seat and sits down. The bus starts moving and he puts in some earbuds and listens to a funny podcast he likes. The bus has been moving for 10 minutes before the next stop. He looks up as he sees a few people get on before he looks back out the window. Out the window he can see many nice apartment buildings and very nice looking restaurants. This must be where all the rich people live, he thinks before looking down at his phone. He feels the seat dip next to him and glances at the stranger who decided to sit next to him. He takes a look and it feels as though the world has frozen around him. The man next to him is definitely the prettiest person he has ever seen. He has soft-looking pink lips and dirty blonde hair. He thinks for a second that he might just be imagining this perfect-looking stranger. He continues looking for a minute before he realizes that he has been staring at the stranger and that he probably feels weirded out. He quickly looks away and looks at his phone, and out of the corner of his eye he swears that he sees the stranger's lips turn up into a smile. The stranger then looks towards him and greets him with the most breathtaking smile. Hi. My name's Jimin. What's yours, cutie? He asks. Jungkook feels his heat rushing to his face as he realizes that this beautiful stranger has just called him cute. My name's Jungkook, he says, applauding himself for not stuttering. The stranger, well, he now knows his name, Jimin, smiles at him again before speaking. A cute name for a cute boy. Jean-Luc feels the blush that had receded before rise up again at the cheesy flirting. Where are you heading to, if I may ask? Jimin questions. Jean-Luc wonders if he should tell this strange but pretty man whom he just met where he was going and decides that it won't hurt. I'm heading to Snoopdy University. Today's my first day. Jimin's smile seems to grow impossibly wider. Me too. He squeals. You must be the new student everyone's been talking about. People have been saying that you're a delinquent, but you don't look very mean. In fact, you look quite the opposite. I bet you're a big softie. Jean-Luc frowns as hears the rumors about him have already started before he has even gotten there. He doesn't understand how people have already decided he's a delinquent before they've even met him. He's sad about it, but is definitely not surprised. Although he's a little sad, he pushes it away when Jimin tells him that he doesn't think of him like that. He's glad that there is someone who doesn't think he is a mean person just based on his appearance. Him and Jimin talk the entire rest of the way towards the university. At the university they split ways, but not before Jimin gets Jean-Luc's phone number and asks him if he would like to eat lunch with him and his friends. Jean-Luc looks nervous about meeting so many new people so quickly but agrees after Jimin gives him his best sad, pleading, puppy dog eyes. Jimin squeals, he does that a lot, and runs off telling him that he'll text him where they'll meet. Jean-Luc sighs and smiles before heading into the building. It's time to start the next chapter of my life. Chapter 2. Earlier that day, Jimin woke up in a big mess of bodies and limbs. He looks around and sees his boyfriends knocked out all cuddled together. His boyfriends each have things to do today, so they won't be going to university today. They felt bad the day before since he'll be alone today, but he had told them not to worry about it. Jimin looks at the clock and realizes that he needs to get up in order to catch the bus. He could drive himself, but today he feels like he should try something new. He disconnects from the pile of limbs he's in and gets himself ready. Jin Hyun's gonna kill me when he finds out that I didn't wake him up before I left. Jimin thinks, giggling to himself. The day before, Jin had told him that he'll make him breakfast before he leaves since he feels bad about him going to university by himself. I don't want him to have to do that. He already works hard enough as it is. Jimin looks at his boyfriends before grabbing a chocolate chip muffin that was made by Jin and walking out the door. He walks out of their apartment and heads towards the bus stop. He waits there for a few minutes before the bus finally arrives. He gets on the bus and pays the driver. After paying him, he looks around for an empty seat and spots one next to a rather cute-looking boy. He walks over and plops down next to him. Right after sitting down, Jimin feels his phone start blowing up. He looks down at his phone to see that Jin is texting him. He opens his phone and can already feel what is coming. He sees multiple texts in all caps getting onto him for not waking Jin up, as well as texts asking why he didn't drive. He then sees a text telling him that they will all be done around lunch, so they will walk to one of the many restaurants near the university. As he's answering these texts, he realizes that there are eyes on him. He glances over to see that the cute boy beside him is staring at him. The kid seems to realize and quickly looks away as he rises to his face. Jimin smiles and decides that he should try and strike up a conversation. Jimin introduces himself to the boy, and the blushing cutie introduces himself as Jeonguk. I'm keeping him, Jimin thinks after he finds out that the boy beside him goes to the same college as him. He and Jeonguk talk all the way to the university before they need to split ways. Give me your phone, Jimin says with his hand out. I'm gonna put my number in your phone, he says after Jeonguk gives him a questioning look. Jeonguk hands him his phone after a second, and Jimin puts his number in it and changes the contact name to say, Jimin Hi. Jimin remembers the text about his boyfriends being done with their work around lunch and decides to let them meet his new baby. You should have lunch with my friends and I, he says to Jeonguk while giving a pleading look. Jeonguk looks like he's about to say no, so Jimin amps up his puppy dog eyes as much as he can, and Jeonguk finally gives in. Okay, I'll join you for lunch, Hi. But don't expect me to be great at talking to them. I'm not very good with a lot of people. Yes. Jimin squeals as he runs off to class. I'll see you later, Jin Yuki. I'll text you where to meet us. Jimin runs into the building and out of sight. I'm so excited. Now that the story is over, why don't you subscribe? Snoopdy Dawg out.